We've all heard the jokes about broke college kids surviving off ramen diets and sad part-time jobs. When you're a CU Boulder student relying on the government to stock your fridge, the financial struggle isn't so funny. Hello, I'm Keely Haynes with The Bold. Today we're looking into how the Trump administration's recent cuts to SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, affects CU students. On November 1st, over 600,000 Coloradans lost their SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. Heather Vargas, a fourth-year transfer student studying political science, was one of them. She said without her benefits, she was barely hanging on.
I was like, I just gotta make it to the food pantry. Gotta make it as long as I can, get to my appointment at the food pantry. I'll be able to survive another week.
Vargas wasn't alone in this experience. According to the Government Accountability Office, 1.1 million college students use SNAP benefits. However, because of SNAP's intense qualification standards, this number does not even account for all the students struggling to afford food. Eldred Foster, the Associate Director of the Basic Needs Center, said nearly a quarter of CU students struggle to afford healthy, sustainable foods.
In 2024, we had a survey that we put out to all students that attend CU, which was 37,000 students. And so from there, we had about 8,000 that did take that and filled it out. And out of that number, we had 25% of those students that did the survey reported that they were food insecure.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, SNAP now requires students to work a minimum of 20 hours per week to receive benefits. A graduate student pursuing a dual degree in electrical engineering and music lost her funding after enrolling at CU because of this work requirement. She wished to remain anonymous, but said the standard is nearly impossible to meet.
Well, I feel like having the minimum of 20 hours a week on full-time student is a very strict requirement, given that a full-time student is already a quality of full-time job, so they're expecting us basically working at minimum 60 hours a week to even qualify.
Without her SNAP benefits to lower her grocery costs, the graduate student now turns to the Buff Pantry. The Buff Pantry is CU's on-campus food pantry currently located in the basement of the UMC. Between September of 2022 and March of 2025, the pantry provided over 900,000 free meals to the CU Boulder community, and for the past 2 months, it has helped the graduate student manage her food expenses.
Since I went to Buff Pantry, my grocery bill every month has been less than $50, so it's very huge.
To continue supporting students, the Buff Pantry had to change its policy during SNAP's funding halt. Typically, students are permitted one weekly visit to the pantry, but SNAP identifying students were allowed a second visit to make up for their lack of government aid during the freeze. Foster said community donors kept the pantry stocked, which made these additional appointments possible.
I had a lot of people go out and donate packages, and they went out. We have oatmeal, rice, things of that nature on that Amazon wish list, and a lot of people went out, purchased those meals, and then we were able to we were distributing those out of our pantry.
And community members didn't just give back with their wallets. Danya Rayoff, a fourth-year political science and pre-law major, gave back by donating her time. She volunteered at the Buff Mobile Pantry, which was organized in under a week and served about 250 people during the SNAP freeze. She said her privilege inspired her to help those in need.
Especially as someone who is blessed enough to be able to not worry about my food and my next paycheck, all I've been thinking about is how can I help those that aren't in that position right now.
Colorado SNAP funding was fully restored after the government shutdown ended on November 13th, but Foster said the pantry still needs support year-round, not just in times of crisis. The Buff Pantry hopes to sustain the influx of volunteers and donations they received during the shutdown as it heads into the next semester.
With this disruption, but what can we do to look at February of next year, March, April, May? Those are still times that we are needing to have support from the community, and so that's where a lot of this lies.
So not only did the recent government shutdown and the SNAP funding halt highlight how many people are affected by these kinds of food assistance situations, but it also showed how many opportunities there are to support others in need, and that those people may be closer than you think. This has been Keely Haynes with The Bold. Thank you for listening.